Hello everybody, my name is Odinwolf, and today we are playing Last Epoch. Last Epoch is an early access action RPG game in the vein of Diablo that has a bit of a unique time-traveling twist to its storyline and an interesting take on character development, one where you spend your time basically leveling and mastering your specific skills. Each skill you have will have its own passive skill tree where you can customize that skill to match your playstyle. The skill will not be the same between different plays depending on how somebody decides to build that skill. For example, if I had a leap slam, I could, say, specialize that leap slam to basically do more damage when I take off and more damage when I land, leaving things like poisonous vines that will capture the enemies where I take off and land from. However, somebody else might be able to specialize it so that their minions leap with them and help to do damage, or maybe they do some extra fire damage or cold damage. It all depends on how you spend your points and your skills. So that's a little bit of a rundown of what it is that sets this action RPG apart from other ones. Now, so let's get into actually picking ourselves a character and starting up with this thing. So I'm going to run a solo character here. What that means is I'm not going to actually have an advantage of items or gold from any other character that I have made. Along the way, I am just going to be going with the items that I find along the way. I'm going to go with the Primalist here as a base class. Primalist is kind of your nature-based character. Depends on some summons of friendly beasts, and can eventually basically advance into these three mastery classes that they have here. Shaman, Beastmaster, or Druid. The Shaman is like an elementalist, so I would be able to do things like summon lightning or windstorms, something like that. That aspect of nature. Beastmaster is kind of what it sounds like. He basically will specialize in summoning creatures that will help aid him in battle. And the Druid is more of a physical-based character. He basically will be centered around transforming himself, taking new forms, and the like. I think I'm going to go with the Primalist to start, and probably eventually focus on mastering the Druid class. So, anyways, that being said, let us make a name for this character. I will just call him Odinwolf Odinwolf Druid. Okay, and that being said, let's freaking go.
I am the Primalist, man of the wilds, the link between the people of my tribe and the spirits of the land. I was returning to my home in Heoboria from a hunt, only to find flames and destruction, a raid by the forces of Raya. My home and my family had been turned to ash. The call came for the tribes to unite, but I am drawn elsewhere. Now I am traveling to the Temple of Iterra in search of answers from the Mother Goddess and the and the strength to take my vengeance.
And there you have it. That's our little opening story for our character here. And, alright, so let's get down to business here. So basically it's basic ARPG commands. I left click in order to move. I right click in order to activate the basic attack there. And over here is where I have my first skill that I start the game with, mapped to Q here. And if I do that, that will summon this nice little doggy here to follow me around.
Of my family. The
And
Temple of Eterra will have my answers.
he will follow me around and he will help me with fighting. Now, now that I have summoned him though, the ability will change, and it changes to Howl, which will let him embolden himself and allies around him, granting frenzy and 50% increased damage for 3 seconds on a 10-second cooldown. So basically I can make him just buff us to give more damage rather than summon any more wolves. Okay, so let us move along here. And here's our first fight. So I can, as it says here, I can cast my abilities pressing the action button. Yeah, usual ARPG stuff. Alright, so let's just work through the beginning of the game here. And now, health potions. The way health potions work in this game, basically, just like in any other one, I can, I have a oh shit button in order to heal myself a little bit. And, basically it'll heal myself a little, and I have 2 of these potions to start. And I can hold 2 because of what my belt here says, is +2 potion slots. If I get belts that have more slots, I can hold more potions at any time, and that's how the potions in this game work. If the enemies that drop potions and I can't hold them, I just can't pick them up. So you can't stock a lot of potions up. So you want to be a little bit more discerning of when you use potions. That being said, there is quite a bit of potions that will drop throughout this game. Alright, so there was my first level up, and I unlocked my next ability, which is Ice Thorns here. So the Ice Thorns basically are exactly what you would think. Let's just get to another group. Yeah, there we go. I could just throw the spike of ice, and it will, these spikes of ice will go out from me, and they will freeze enemies they hit and have a chance to freeze them in place. So it's a little bit of crowd control and damaging. Right? Let's keep moving along. Okay. And if you get to a new area and you see that there's this little circle on the map that's growing, that means that that is the area you have to go to in order to advance a quest of some sort. So let's move along here. And this gets me to the first traveler's camp, basically just the first little village. I can...
Greetings, traveler. Care to see my wares?
And here we are, a basic shop. Just like any other ARPG, really, you get your weapons and your armor at these shops. These shops will also sell things called runes. These runes will be used later on in the game when you get to unlock the forge, which is what the crafting system in this game is. I will get more into that as we advance. It's been... you'll have to forgive me, it's been quite a while since I played this game, and there has been lots of changes, as it is an early access game, so some things in the Forge may have changed, and I'll be learning along with you as we play. Now let's just take a look at what we got here. So I have this mace, which is a little bit slower than the hatchet, but does more damage at one time. I'm gonna just equip that mace, why not? And we'll sell the axe. This wooden armor is exactly the same as what I have, so I'll just sell that. And I only have 25 gold, so I don't exactly have enough. Well, I do. The items in this game are fairly cheap. So, these boots only cost 3. They'll give me a little bit of armor plus the movement speed. I just have movement speed now. Might as well just take that. And then I'll sell these boots back. And, I don't have any kind of hood or head armor right now, so I will quit that just because I can. Okay, so
Carry on then.
moving on, it is telling me to go over here and check this out. So, and this is the stash, and so the stash in this game is just like in any other ones. Basically, this is where you're going to store all of your stuff. Because I created a solo character, I do not have any access to anything my previous characters have unlocked. So I just start with the one stash tab, and I will be able to hold stuff in. This game, though, unlike Diablo or anything like that, you will be able to actually increase the stash tabs by yourself, and you can do it for free at the moment. While it's in early access. For example, I have this just general items tab. If I want to create another one, I can just stash tab 1. If I want to create another one, I can just click on that, and it does cost gold. Okay, so they have changed that, so I will have to use in-game currency. So that's I can't increase the stash at the moment, but later on, as I earn more money, I will be able to earn more stash tabs. And there are ways to customize the stash tabs. You can rename them, recolor them in order to organize how you want. Anyways, that's enough in this town. Let us move on and head to the southern plateau here. Okay. Now we're in the southern plateau, and let's just keep going and until we level up some more, and I can explain a few more of what's going on in this game. Alright. Stuff to sell. I'd pick up. Why can't I pick that up? The glitch. Okay. Like I said, it is early access, so expect a little bit of stuff like that every now and then. It is rare. That is one of the... I rarely had that happen before. Okay, so that was a haste shrine I just activated. It'll increase my movement speed as... And there we go, another level up. So these items at least aren't glitched. So that level up gave me a passive point, and this is this other aspect of character development in this game, is this passive tree. So, as you gain passive node points by leveling up and completing quests, so basically what I'll be able to do is I spend passive points on essentially these passive nodes. As I put passive points in, this bar will gradually increase and fill up. As that bar fills up, I will be able to access more points into more passives. Also, as the bar bubbles up, I will gain access to even more stronger abilities than just basic leveling up allows me to do. Now, let me show you on this tree here. Here, for example, if I put a point in here, just gives me another point of strength and increased health regeneration. And for my character, each point of strength will increase armor by 4%, and it'll improve the skills that will rely on the raw strength for me and my companions. such as the swipe attack or summoning wolf. So it will just basically make me better at those skills. Now, you'll see that between this node and this node here are these little dots. And here there's just this one dot. So in order for me to get this next ability, I will have to put a point first into here. But if I wanted to advance from this ability to this one, I would have to have at least 5 points, as you see here, in Survival of the Pack before I can move on to Ancestral Weaponry. So it's just a basic passive tree. So let's see what we got here. The Primal Strength I already shown. We have Natural Attunement here, which is basically to increase your attunement, which is one of your basic abilities. And that's 1 per point. It also gives me lightning resistance and cold resistance. And let's check out attunement here. So each point of attunement will grant you 2 extra mana and will improve the skills that rely on innate magic inside you, such as the ice thorns or summoning the thorn totem. So it's a way to increase your strength in those abilities. And here we just have the Gift of the Wilderness. Basic, just gives you more health per point, and it makes your minions more healthy the more you put into it. So if you want to do a minion-based build, you might want to go into this. The build that I have in mind is going to be more of a physical-based build, though, as I want to advance into the druid character who gets to shape change into things like a werewolf or, sorry, a werebear and things of that nature. So it'll be more based on my own strength. So I think I'm going to put a point into Primal Strength here, just to make myself stronger. And let's go. Move on to the next battle. And you notice that when I leveled up there, I also gained a new ability called Fury Leap. So let's check that out. And that's your basic leap slam, like out of Diablo Barbarian. It's great ability, and I will be able to eventually customize it to be even stronger however I want it to.
Impossible.
Okay. Keep moving on until we level up some more.
Impossible.
I like the Leap Slam ability because it does quite a bit of AoE damage around where you land. And there we go, there's our first specialization slot as we reach level 4. Okay, but first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into the passive tree and I'm going to give myself another point in the Primal Strength. Increase my health regeneration and my strength. And there, and now I will bring up skills and specializations, and this is where things start to get interesting in this game. The skill system introduction here. Viewing augment trees. Click on a skill, use a new skill. Click on an action bar slot to access the skill selection panel. Specialize in skills. You can specialize in up to 5 different skills by clicking on an unlocked specialization slot located above, which will unlock as you level up. Specializing in a skill will allow you to gain skill points for that skill by earning experience, which you can use to empower and augment it. And I will show you what that means by clicking on Fury Leap here. Now, this is the ability that lets me jump battle. Now, here's where things get interesting. As you can see, there's a whole tree full of nodes where I can put points into in order to specialize my Leap Slam here. So, first off, I could go either over here into Warrior's Entrance and go into Panther Strike, or I can go into Crater. And between the nodes on here, you also see that they have the little bit of points And those are, again, just like in the passive, the amount of points I need to have in the skill preceding it to go on to the next one. So if I want to go from Panther Strike here over to Ambush Predator, I would need to have at least 2 points in Panther Strike before I could move on. So that being said, what you do is you want to find yourself a way that you want to specialize your skill, and have to specialize because you only get 20 points throughout the game in each skill in order to specialize. So you never get enough points to unlock everything. You can gain more points if you equip some equipment which gives you bonuses to points for that skill, but naturally the most you can gain for any skill is 20 points. So let's see what directions we can go into here. So if we go this way for Warrior's Entrance, basically when I land, my minions will deal increased damage for 3 seconds, but I cannot have multiple instances of that buff at once. So basically when I land, right now I would get 20% extra damage from that point on for 3 seconds. Every point I put into it will increase the percentage, so I could put 5 points in here if I wanted to get that to 100% increased damage, so double damage on my from that point on. Then I could, if I went over to here, my wolf, saber-tooth, or raptor companions will leap with me, so they will jump where I jump. Rage, when I land, I'm granted increased attack and cast speed, so another way to, just by leaping, I can buff myself and my companions to be stronger. That's a way that I can go. Over here as well, if I go out this way, I get to make poisonous vines where I jump from, or eventually also where I land. And I can make myself into a poison build. First point, though, would be this Panther Strike, where Fury Leap deals more damage and has a shorter cooldown, so I'll be able to use it more often. It starts with a pretty long cooldown, so this is a good way to go in order to let yourself cast it more often, especially if you go towards here where it says regain stamina. It lets you have a chance to reset the cooldown whenever you kill an enemy with any other skill. So basically I like doing that, so I'm going to go in that direction first because I want to cast this more often. So put my first point into there, and now I have a 6% reduced cooldown on my skill, which I just whiffed completely. Oh, look, you can leap pretty far with it. So it's a good way of initiating a fight, or to do some, or to get out of a fight as well. If something's not going right for you, you can jump away. You have to be careful with that though, because there is, as I said, a fairly lengthy cooldown. Takes a few seconds. And I forgot there is a question mark over here. That's a quest, so let's... Keeper Balthas. They took her. The shard is in danger. Who did they take? Lena, my daughter. There's only so long before they find out she has the shard. There's little time. Please help us. The shard? Our people, the keepers, have protected the shard since the beginning of memory. It must be kept from the others, kept from the temple. Itera, save us. I'll do what I can. Thank you. Forgive me for laying this fate upon you. So now I have to go find this dude's daughter and find whatever this shard is and see what is going on. So let's move along and move on to the Atari Cliffs. Okay, and here we are at the cliffs. And let's just keeping on here. Boom. Okay. I've been picking up a few items along the way, so let's see if I have anything useful. I found this amulet, which I don't have equipped yet. So that's just 13 health, but 13 health is 13 health. So, any of this better than what I have right now? 12 armor, exactly the same. 12 armor, exactly the same. So let's just... This is a great mace. This is a two-handed blood weapon, 24 melee damage. What I picked up, it's a one-handed weapon. I tend to think I'm going to be going a two-handed route, so I'll just stick with that for now. Okay, another leather cowl. Seem to like dropping those for me, don't they? Exactly the same as what I have. Okay. Hello. And goodbye. One of the nice things about basic attacks in this game is they can sweep through enemies themselves. So while you do have some skills that specialize in sweeping through enemies, even your basic ones will cut through multiple enemies at a time if you get surrounded. This is the second time this has happened to me, that I can't pick up item. That is a little bit frustrating, I have to say. I don't know why that is happening so much in this playthrough.
Impossible.
Not something that I've encountered before. I wonder if it's a new glitch from the updates that they have. So, that level up happened, which gave me another passive point, which I will use to increase my strength since I have decided to go into physical and leap slam. And it also gave me another point to spend in my tree here. So basically, if I want to, I could continue to increase my Panther Strike here, or I could move on to the Crushing Impact, which has an increased chance to stun enemies and increases the length of time that they're stunned, which is a great thing when you're initiating combat. It would also get me closer towards getting to this regained stamina, which would let me have chances to just instantly refresh my cooldown, which is kind of what I want to do. So I'm going to actually put my point in there and get that for now. Alright, let's move along. And here we are. Oh, there's a question mark over there in the circle, which means there's a quest I know.
Nowhere to run. Surrender the shard.
Okay.
Dispose of this interloper.
So, as I clear out the enemies here, eventually that guy is going to make his way onto the battlefield, and here is our first mini-boss encounter. The way the mini-boss counters work, as you can see here, they have indicators of where they are going to attack. It gives you a chance to get out of the way.
Impossible.
And this is basically how most of the boss encounters will work in this game. It's just kind of trying to get...
Aid me.
making sure that you avoid their big attacks. Or stand in the middle of them like that. Okay, so here we go. I actually finally get some weapons and items. now that I picked those up, let's take a look. So the gray items are your basic normal items. Eventually they'll all be trash for the most part. Good to start with. Not great in the whole long run. Blue is your next tier up from gray. They're your basic magic weapons. You'll have a couple of prefixes usually, and just a step above. The yellow is the step above the blues. They will usually have even more prefixes or suffixes than the blues, and essentially just kind of be a little bit stronger overall. After the yellows are the legendaries, uniques, which will be orange tinged, and pretty much are exactly what they sound like. They are not randomized items like this, but they are very specific items that will always have the same kind of stats, and they'll also have their own unique names. But since I am going to be wielding two-handed weapons, I am not going to be making use of this shield. Let's see if the spear is better than what I have, though. It's a little bit faster. It does a little bit less base damage, but has more of a chance to crit. Well, I think I like the sweeping attack that I do, because here, let me equip this for a second and show you. And it's a little bit, it's still sweeping, but it's a little bit more of a pokey attack, whereas this, you can see that it's got more of a sweep attack to it all the time, so I can hit multiple enemies. Anyways, let's go and rescue this woman and see what she's got for us. Keeper Lena, did Balthus send you? I see. Raya's forces are not finished with us. We don't have much time before more of them arrive. Why were they attacking you? Well, my people have guarded the shard since the days when Atera still spoke with us. Raya's commanders learned of its existence and have been hunting us down. They do not know the threat it poses if it were to be rejoined with the others. So what do we do?
Raya's forces are not finished with us. We don't have much time before more of them arrive.
Okay, so please take the shard with you and protect it with your life. I'll distract the reinforcements. Quick, use the shard. So here's the shard lying on the ground. Before you lies the relic the woman was holding. Now that it is away from her, it burns with a light that seems to call to you. Take the shard. And oh, what is this here? Let's click on it and find out. And now we have our first time-traveling aspect of Last Epoch, because as the title, Epoch, tells you, this is a time-traveling game. So we have gone from present day into the future here. Notice it went from 1280 to 1290 AG. So we are now in a place called the Ruined Era.
Is this place? The spirits, they are in pain.
And we are in the ruined future in the Ulatari Cliffs on Chapter 2. And I think that is a great place to leave off our first episode. So thank you for watching, and have yourself a great day, and see you next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.